Today we welcome Lynsey Ward and Matt Harrison from Exploring Birdsong to the podcast. Exploring Birdsong's debut full-length Every House We Built is out this Friday on Long Branch Records. We discussed the band meeting at school and the musical moments that sent them towards music as a profession, the themes and metaphors contained within Every House We Built, wanting the live show to be special, and more. I've inquired about having Exploring Birdsong on the podcast multiple times over the last 2 to 3 years, and I'm so excited to finally get to have the band on the show and to share their music with you, the listening audience. Every House We Built is an incredible record that spans pop music to prog rock, and it's an incredible album that will definitely be on my list of favorite records for 2026. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page. If you aren't yet subscribed to the podcast, I would love it if you subscribed on your podcast platform of choice. Enjoy today's conversation with Lynsey and Matt from Exploring Birdsong.
I know you've seen this thing before. There can't be a mistake. I said it wasn't fake. I think I'm gonna break.
I don't know, do we want trouble at the beginning or in the middle? I don't know, like pick your poison.
Yeah, well, we are a bit of a bad luck charm when it comes to stuff like this, so...
Don't say that.
You're welcome.
Your tech's gonna like explode.
Yeah, hope you enjoy your last interview ever.
I mean, that would be something. Last interview ever. I've thought about that. Like, what would be the last one? How do you send off? And I don't know. You can't plan it. Sometimes I'm like, I'm done. I've done this for long enough. And other times I'm like, no, because I get to talk to you guys. So why would I give that up?
Oh, well, what a way to go.
I feel like Exploring Birdsong is a band I've gotten a lot of press releases for and seen a lot of like music videos and singles. So I was quite shocked to like click on Apple Music this morning and be like, oh, this is the first full length from the band. Like,
it's true. It's a long time coming.
It's crazy. Like, and I mean, I think like you deliver. The album is incredible, and we'll dive into that. But yeah, you guys met at school in Liverpool.
That's right. We went to university, all three of us. Matt, Johnny, and I met at LIPA in Liverpool, which is the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts. And the big pull for that university is that it's Paul McCartney's passion project.
Nice.
So we all, I don't actually know how much that really influenced Matt and Johnny's decision to go there, but it certainly influenced mine. So
yeah, not my. I didn't grow up listening to the Beatles, so for me it was just like a nice little added. Oh, yeah. But like, but being completely real, like I didn't go to any open days for uni, and I nearly didn't get into LIPA.
Oh man.
So, I was really underprepared.
Oh man.
Out of character for me.
Yeah, classic 18-year-old vibe. But yeah, and then 3 years later, or rather 2 years later, Matt and I were sat in a room with Sir Paul doing a songwriting session. So it's very strange the way that these things turn out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our journey started in Liverpool, and we graduated. We started about 10 years ago now. Oh. So awful to think about that too much. But yeah, so that was the beginning of the band all those years ago in Liverpool.
Wow, that's crazy. What got each of you kind of into music, and what led you to pursue like music and the arts as like your profession? I mean, if you're going to school for... That's what you want to do.
I think, I mean, I'm speaking for Lynsey and Johnny here as well, but like, I'd be confident in saying that we've all got really, really good parents, like supportive parents that never, like when I realized that my dream of being a Premier League footballer wasn't going to happen, I then started playing the drums, and I was like, well, I'm going to be a rock star instead. Okay.
So we are sloppy seconds to Matt's football career.
Exactly.
I mean, it is wonderful that you were like, you know what, being a pro athlete is too high a bar. Rock star.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, right. So much more reasonable.
Yeah.
Start under the cloud.
Yeah.
We've all got really good supportive, a really good supportive network of people, and I think anyone that does music, there is just something like you can't explain about it that draws you to it, and for whatever reason, there's just like a spice or a bit of chemistry in there that you can't escape from, and you always go back to it. Like I'll go wherever and I'll just have my AirPods in, just listening to whatever. And I think that is like the particular ingredient. And it's a fairly useless answer because I don't know what that thing is specifically, but like I remember the first band that I like really, really loved was Nickelback, and I'm not going to take any Nickelback hate, by the way, but but then like Nickelback, then I was like, right, AC/DC, and then my dad's
pipeline.
Yeah.
Nickelback to AC/DC pipeline.
Honestly, it's like that, but like my dad, when I was little, was listening to like Rush, and he'd always play like Guns N' Roses and stuff, so there'd always be that in the background. But then as I sort of started forming my own ideas about things, it went sort of like that, and then to like Metallica, and then I made it, and then it was like, all right, okay, I'll go to Dream Theater, and then Dream Theater went to like went to the heavier stuff, and then these days it's just a complete melting pot of like anything. Nice. And that's just that, like I said, that's the beauty of it, and being so interested in it and passionate about it, I think is what would be like the primary thing in pursuing it as like a lifelong thing, if that makes sense.
No.
Yeah, it's a convoluted way of saying I don't read as just some like magic about music that you love and can't describe. Yeah. I would say.
Similar for me, really. From being a child, my parents are both musicians, and they became friends out of finding out that they mutually had an interest in progressive rock music. And eventually I came along as a child of prog union. So it was always going to happen, really. My mom, we always had music on at home. My mom is hugely into hi-fi, so she had her system on all the time, playing all sorts of music. She has a very eclectic music taste. So exposure to music very, very early on, all the time, whether it was them playing their instruments or we were all listening to music. Very often in the car, my dad would be playing Beatles records, Led Zeppelin, a lot of prog stuff, old and newer. So it was always bound to happen, really. But my own sort of foray into it started with pop music, R&B music, different kind of voice for myself, to find my own voice. But I was about 13, I think, when I started to like actually care about Beatles music, and that was the gateway to everything else. So right.
I'm going to cut you up, Lynn. Like, we're calling my gateway from Nickelback to AC/DC. You went from like Yes to Leona Lewis.
Yes, 100. Yes, it's true. It's mental, but it's really true. Obviously, Rick Wakeman and Leona Lewis have a lot in common. It doesn't needless to say. It is all roads lead to Leona Lewis winning the X Factor. But yeah, so it did kind of start from. I started from pursuing music seriously and having a serious interest in it all the way back to the Beatles' early career and moving through the history of the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, and coming back on myself. So I've got a lot. There's so much music out there that, we're fortunate enough now where there's an archive of it and we can find, it's there to find. So that it's perfect for people that were in the position that I was in, where it was like, okay, well, I want to know more. I want to know who influenced them. I want to know who influenced them, how far back it goes. And it's all there to find. And there's so much more to find than we realize.
Yeah.
So, I hope that's a good answer.
It's so funny. Your brain went, oh, who influenced these? And then who influenced these? When I think, looking back on it, I was like, oh, well, this was on Need for Speed Most Wanted, so I'm gonna like the rest of the Need for Speed Most Wanted soundtrack. And Tony Hawk,
the Tony Hawk soundtracks, oh my gosh. Yes,
I mean, super influential, right? Like,
like SmackDown versus Raw 2007, heavy bangers on that.
Or Guitar Hero, right? Like, video games were like the soundtrack to a generation, and it's like
100%.
Yeah, starting to see more representation as I talk to people younger than me. It's interesting to hear you guys talk about your musical influences and to like hear how that impacts the music, because like you could easily be a band that sounds like Churches or Paris or Paramore, but like that prog influence, that like it's so there, especially in the drumming, like that changes the dynamic of what you do. It's like, it's fascinating to hear it. It's like, I can hear all these things when I listen to the album.
I think it's always been what we've wanted, though, is that like I don't think there is any one thing that, that is, when we're asked what our influences are, there isn't just one. It can't be like, oh, well, if you like this, you'll like us. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot that kind of is humming away in the background of our music that makes sense to us. But other people might hear something completely different. We listened to somebody yesterday who felt that Simon and Garfunkel was there, So like whatever you as a listener hear, it's probably there to find, but whether it's buried very deeply or not. So I don't know. I guess it does make our music unique to us, but it's definitely not the case that our influences are unique. We are influenced by almost everything the same way that everybody is. It's just that they're at varying levels of depth.
Yeah,
it's so difficult as well, because like, you'll have a conversation with like a family friend or something, and it'd be like, oh, what, you're in a band? So what does your band sound like? And it's like, I don't know, mate.
Don't know.
I don't know, to be honest. I think the best, the most like succinct descriptor for us that I've ever heard was, I can't remember who said it, but they said it's like Biffy Clyro replacing the guitars with keyboards and Kate Bush singing. But even then, I think it's kind of, we're a tricky one, I think.
Yeah. But I think you can, have your fingers in a lot of genres and appeal to a lot of people, whether they're pop fans or adult contemporary or metal fans, right? I think your music can touch a lot of different genres, and I imagine your audience is super eclectic because of that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it kind of speaks to my point that I was just saying, we do, especially in metal, even though like our music, it doesn't strictly fall into that area, we are so influenced by metal and heavy music. So like, even though it's difficult to read in the music, it's all there. I mean, you were talking about Matt's drumming, and that's a perfect, case in point. You can hear Caligula's horse in a lot of your playing, Matt, there's been moments where we've been sat with you and you said, like, I love this thing that Josh does sometimes, where he like and you know, it finds its way into your playing.
This is going to be like, oh yeah,
yeah. Did I? Yeah. So, you know, there's so much that goes into it, but it just sort of finds its way and coming out in strange ways.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the thing that we do well, so we've never compromised on what ever. From day one, we've always written the music that we want to write, and I think it'd be easy to, and I think this can happen these days when bands fall into a trap of doing what's fashionable, like at the time, and what is like cool at the time. That we've seen recently, where like Deftones is the band to sound like, and for the last like since Lowe's did it on brought back the shoegaze thing in like a really cool, innovative way in like 2020 or whatever. That there are still bands now that are going, oh well, I let it in and it took everything, so I'm gonna But I think if you do that, you're always sort of going to be behind the curve, because Lowe's didn't look at anyone in particular, I don't think, and go, oh, they're doing that. That sounds like that, so that's cool. That record is just really cool. And
Right.
And for the time, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's completely new. Yeah, like I said, I think what we do well is that we don't compromise, and we haven't really compromised on the music that we want to write. And now we're getting to a point where people are like, oh well, some people I say are like, oh, I really like the first EP or the first two EPs, and I'm like, I want to hear like the really proggy piano stuff, and I'm like, oh, that feels like we're a proper band now, because people are saying it. I'm like, yes, we're there.
Yeah,
it's one of those. I think you look at it, but it's, you know.
I will admit, every time I see your band name, my head goes to Exploding Birdsong.
It does happen a lot. That's a classic.
What was the inspiration for the name?
Who wants to say this one? Do you want to do it, Lynsey, or do you want me to?
I can, yeah. Well, Matt and I, in a songwriting, what do they call it now, where it's just like you and it's not a seminar. You know, when it was
just us songwriting class.
Yeah, we were in a class, like a 1-to-1 or rather 2-to-1, with our tutor, and at the time we were writing what would become the first EP, The Thing with Feathers. So we were showcasing what we were working on at the time, and while it was in its kind of infancy, we were experimenting a little bit with like nature sounds and sounds that you would find like in an actual scene. So like there was doors closing and various sounds that we wanted it to be more immersive. We didn't end up going with it in the end, but we did see if we could make it work. And in one of the tunes that we played in this class, there was Birdsong over the record, and our tutor said, "That's really interesting. I think you should definitely continue exploring Birdsong," or words to that effect. But the phrase "exploring Birdsong" just seemed to click, and we looked at each other and we were like, "Oh, well, that's the band name." It was a strange sort of non-verbal communication between us, because I don't think we said anything, but after that class we were like, oh well, that's fine then.
Yeah,
it'd been such a headache. It's such a headache naming something that doesn't exist, because every name sounds stupid. Like if you think about like Arctic Monkeys, if they weren't the Arctic Monkeys, what's that? Like, are you trying to make that work? It's really difficult to make it work, but because there's an established, it just feels normal.
Yeah.
So we were really up against it at that point, because we couldn't find anything that was going to stick.
Yeah.
And Exploring Birdsong did and has. So I think it's also useful because it doesn't really explain anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't give the game away. You don't really know what to expect. So
I think that's an important thing on it looking back. You know, like that, it's fairly like ambiguous as to what it could be.
So it gives us the scope for it to be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the real super nerds, I remember specifically that the demo that we took in to that class and showed the lecturer or whatever, it was a major the riff from the river from the first EP. It was a major version of that.
Was it really?
I called it like Fresh Air or something.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well,
I don't think we've ever said that anywhere.
No, I don't think we have.
I think that's just come back into.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go. Law drop.
My love is running cold and I can't hide the hate. I opened up your chest, your heart is on a play. I don't understand. So I fill the wound with salt and put it on a flame. The love that your eyes suggest is thrown across.
This new album's called Every House We Built. No band I've talked to have I gotten so much information in a press release, which is great because it allows me to have the lyrics while listening. You did the track by track breakdown. And so it seems like so much of this record is about heartache and complicated relationships and difficult feelings. Like, why lean into that when writing?
I think because it makes it not easier. That's not the case. It helps you to process, or at least I find it's a great way to begin to process what's happened or what is happening. If you can just write it down. I mean, you don't have to be a songwriter to find comfort and a little bit of relief in just writing down how you feel. We're in a position where we can put that to music and have. So it makes it extra cathartic because you've then got, I need to make this into a thing, and you can work through it. I find myself actually thinking about a line from BoJack Horseman. If anyone has seen BoJack Horseman, where it's words to the effect of, I need to make this damage useful for me. I need to make it worth something. And if it can't be worth something and useful, then what good is it to me? It can't be bad damage. It has to be good damage. So it stuck with me really as a kind of concept that, make it serve you, have it serve you, and make it work into something and become something. So I also just think it's a bit of a natural kind of progression in our songwriting. We're older people than what we were when we started it by 10 years. And we've had 10, albeit not that long, but it's 10 years more life experience to draw from and 10 years of lessons to learn. So, and when you begin at 18 and end up at 29, there is a lot to go through in those years. And I think that now we're just kind of at the point where we feel equipped to write about it now. We could feel equipped to talk about it in a way that people can relate to, because we're all doing the same thing at the end of the day. We're all going through the same stuff.
Yeah. I love that concept of like Every House We Built being like about heartache, and like it is such a great metaphor for relationships that end, this thing you put so much time and energy and attention into, and then it's like it's gone, and it's for somebody else now, right?
Yeah, somebody else lives there.
Yeah. When you're coming up with kind of your songs, like what made that the title other than just did it best to encapsulate this idea?
Well, go ahead, Matt, because this is your...
So I think we got to a point where, because all the songs on the album they stretch over, like the writing process for them was stretched over like quite a long period of time. So some of the songs had been completed pretty much from like 22 ish. Archipelago, I think.
That was 22.
Yeah, so ages ago. And you know, you go through this process of sort of like harvesting bits of songs, and you'll have a folder on your laptop that's like album 1 demos and like just random bits of files and stuff that are like slowly making up this like tapestry of what will become like the full record, right? But I think you reach a point where you get more of an idea of how the thing looks, but you need, like with the band name, something to like tie it, like put a ribbon on, make it become something. So then when you can go, oh, the album is called Every House We Built, it then becomes a thing, like not quantifiable, but you get what I'm saying.
It's realized.
Yeah.
And we hadn't had that from any of the songs. There wasn't like that's an obvious title. And then when I was writing Every House We Built, the song, it was weird. It was the first time really where I've ever written lyrics, and they all just like it was like the pen was just, do you know what I mean, where it's like like the fire and the smoke coming off the pen. I was like and I rarely handwrite lyrics, but I was actually handwriting them. And I've not handwritten anything since school, so my wrist was aching, man. And I was like
iPad kid.
Yeah. I was going through. And like it was that one particular line before the bit in that song, and I was like, that feels right, because I could hear it delivered in my head. And I remember listening to King Park by La Dispute, and I was like, well, that's how I want it to sound. I want to like channel as much of that as I can, and if this line that I've got written down works with that, then the two marrying up together will create a really powerful message, like metaphorically, but then also like audibly, you know. And I remember putting it on the group chat with me, Lynsey and Johnny, saying like, all right, well, I've got this name, what do you reckon? And they were like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
And then it sort of like
It's stuck.
Yeah, it's cool. And now you have me think about King Park, and just like, I wish I could go back and hear that song for the first time again, like, and just like the impact, like, jeez. But also like that kind of double meaning of the name of like Every House We Built for like the songs or the albums, like it's like, yeah, it's very cool. Is the house on the cover art meaningful in any way, or is it just like, oh, that's cool?
I guess in a way, it's not like there's not like a lot of emotional sentiment around that house. But I think right. So the story is, I'm driving to with Paige, my fiance, who's in the other room. We were driving to a bird sanctuary, funnily enough, right? And up there, we were driving down this long road, and on this particular road, there are loads of really quite nice detached houses, quite big. And then in the middle of them, it looks like just like a field, basically, this big patch of grass, there's this tiny little cottage that looks really like run down and deserted and stuff. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I pulled the car up and I was just looking at it, and I was like, it was just the sort of idea that it looks lived in. It looks like it had been lived in, and it looked really nice, but there was nobody there. And then I think that same night I was watching, or around the time anyway, I was watching an episode of The Royal Family. Any US listeners, it's great. But like the idea being that this family, this quite not poor, but they're not like, it's like a council house setting in northern England, kind of not affluent at all, but that you could tell there's a lot of love in this family and in this house. that idea married with the idea of the house that I'd seen, it was like, just because this thing is derelict and nobody lives there doesn't mean that it's completely like obsolete from like a memories point of view. Do you get what I mean? And I think it was just quite a nice visual, I think. And interestingly, that house is now being renovated, so it looks really like nice, and it like the same character as it had for me. So yeah, so
that's cool. Album's out end of June. I see a handful of tour dates in the UK in September. What's the plan for trying to play shows and play live now that you're finally releasing your first full length to the world?
Yeah, I mean, we try to be a little bit selective with what we choose to do, because we want our shows to be experiences. Sounds like really sort of grandiose and, you know what I mean, just a bit like ugh, but without wanting to be that way. Yeah, we want them to not be the kind of show where, oh, it's okay because they're playing X venue next week, so I'll miss out on this one. I'll know they're playing here next week. You know, we want them to be special. So, you know, whatever kind of shows that we do play in the future, I hope that it is clear to people that choose to come to see us that they're very deliberate choices that we're making, because we want to make them really, really special for anyone that attends. So September, we are working hard for that to be the case with these two. The first shows post-release, we want them to be meaningful. We want them to be fun. You know, we've done all of this work really with the sort of world that the album lives in, with the estate agents and with the office, and, you know, we want to bring that to people so that they can feel like they live in that world too. So hopefully in September, people that do come will feel, I mentioned the word immersed or immersive earlier, and, you know, we really do want to dial into a level of immersion. So fingers crossed, guys, because we're a little bit of a way out. So if anybody is listening post September, maybe we did it, maybe we didn't.
Maybe we split up by then.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my god, it's also the farewell tour.
10 years is fucking enough.
Yeah, we're done.
See ya.
In another world where the stars don't align, would you cut me loose and separate your heart from its design? In another life where the planets won't arrange, would you call
I would just like to say thank you to everybody that's held on for the album, because we do really realize that it's been a long time coming. But I also hope that it's apparent on listening that we've been very considered in making it, and that's why it has taken the amount of time that it has, because we care about it and we want to deliver something that has our voice in it and on it the way that we really truly believe it is represented now. So I hope you enjoy it. If you didn't, there's always next time.
Yeah, I'd echo Lynsey's sentiments. Thank you to the people that have stuck around and that are actually I don't know, looking forward to this record. It's kind of crazy that it is eventually coming out, and the shows as well. Like we want, like we've like the venues that we're playing are big for us. Like it's scary to imagine us doing these venues, but like we want people to, like Lynn says, be immersed and be able to like dance and stuff. We're sort of band where I don't know, we book like a dive bar show and have like loads of crowd surfers and stuff. It's not that. Like, I want people to come and I don't know, love the whole thing and be able to dance and just do you know what I mean?
Let loose a bit.
Yeah, have a load of fun, because that's, if you're not doing it for that, then what's the point?
Yeah. It is terrible to go to a show and everybody's just standing there, arms crossed,
Right?
just like bobbing, and it's like, come on, like the band is giving you everything. Like, don't you're not
laugh,
that
guys.
cool, right? Like,
Yeah, just have a laugh. It's not that serious.
yeah.